There is a quiet ache that lives in so many of us, a persistent feeling that we are somehow not enough as we are. We wake each morning and immediately begin the internal inventory of what needs fixing, what should be different, what we failed to do yesterday. We look in the mirror and see only what we wish were otherwise. We replay conversations and criticize our words. We compare ourselves to others and find ourselves lacking. And in all of this, we forget the most fundamental truth of our existence, that we are worthy of love exactly as we are right now in this very moment. The greatest gift we will ever give ourselves is not achievement or approval or perfection. It is simply this: learning to love ourselves fully, unconditionally, and without reservation. When we withhold love from ourselves, we create a fracture at the center of our lives. Every relationship we enter, every opportunity we pursue, every dream we hold carries the weight of this rejection. We cannot truly receive love from another when we do not believe we deserve it. We cannot fully celebrate our successes when a voice inside whispers that we got lucky or fooled everyone. We cannot rest in peace when we are constantly at war with who we are. This internal rejection becomes the lens through which we see everything. It colors our choices. It limits our joy. It keeps us small and afraid and apologetic for taking up space in the world. And the exhaustion of it, the sheer weight of carrying this constant judgment, drains the life force that could be used for creating, loving, growing, and experiencing the fullness of being alive. Most of us learned very early that love was something we had to earn. Perhaps we were praised when we were quiet and well-behaved, when we achieved good grades, when we made our parents proud. Perhaps we were criticized when we made mistakes, when we expressed big emotions, when we wanted too much, or needed too much, or simply were too much. The message sank deep into our young hearts. You are acceptable when you meet certain conditions, and unacceptable when you do not. We learn to monitor ourselves constantly, to shape ourselves into whatever form seemed most likely to win approval. We became experts at reading rooms, at dimming our light, at contorting ourselves into shapes that felt safe. And somewhere along the way, we internalized these external voices. They became our own thoughts. The critical parent, the dismissive teacher, the judgmental peer, they all took up residence in our minds, and we began to do to ourselves what was once done to us. We became our own harshest critics, our own strictest judges, our own most unforgiving evaluators. These early patterns do not simply fade with time. They follow us into adulthood, shaping how we treat ourselves in countless small moments throughout each day. They influence whether we allow ourselves rest when we are tired or push through with harsh demands. They determine whether we speak kindly to ourselves after a mistake or unleash a torrent of criticism. They affect whether we honor our needs and boundaries or override them to please others. And they create a deep sense that love must always be conditional, that we must constantly prove our worthiness, that we are always one failure away from being unlovable. This is the inheritance so many of us carry, and it takes tremendous courage to recognize it for what it is, not truth, but learned behavior that we have the power to transform. Our bodies hold the story of how we have loved or failed to love ourselves. Every ache, every tension, every place of dis-ease carries information about where we have been at war with ourselves. When we constantly criticize our appearance, our bodies respond with shame and constriction. When we ignore our need for rest, our bodies eventually force the issue through illness or exhaustion. When we swallow our truth to keep the peace, our throats tighten and our voices become small. The body is not separate from the mind or heart. It is the physical expression of our inner world, and it speaks to us constantly in a language of sensation and symptom. When we begin to listen with compassion rather than judgment, we discover profound wisdom there. Notice right now what your body is telling you. Are your shoulders pulled up toward your ears, holding tension you have carried for so long you barely notice it anymore? Is your jaw clenched, your breath shallow, your belly tight? These are not random occurrences. They are the body's way of showing you where you have been hard on yourself, where you have been afraid, where you have not felt safe to simply be. And here is the beautiful truth. The moment you bring loving awareness to these places, something begins to shift. You do not need to force or fix anything. Simply placing a gentle hand on your heart, taking a slow breath, and silently saying, "I am here with you," to your own body, can begin to dissolve years of accumulated tension. The body responds to love just as any living thing does. It softens, it opens, it begins to trust that it is safe to let go. We can begin to thank our bodies for all they have carried, all they have endured, all the ways they have tried to protect us and serve us, even when we have been unkind to them. Your body has been breathing for you without your conscious effort, healing cuts and fighting infection. Ons digesting food and creating energy, all while you perhaps criticized its shape or pushed it beyond its limits or treated it as an inconvenience. What if, instead of the constant evaluation and judgment, you simply acknowledged the miracle of this physical form? What if you touched your own arm with the same tenderness you would offer to a child? What if you looked in the mirror and before the criticism begins simply said, "Thank you for being here with me"? This is not about pretending you feel differently than you do. It is about beginning a new conversation, one small moment at a time, that plants seeds of appreciation where there has been only judgment. For so many years, we have believed that we must be perfect to be worthy of love. We have thought that if we could just fix this one thing, accomplish that goal, finally get it all right, then we would be acceptable. But perfection is not the goal of being human. Wholeness is. And wholeness includes everything: the light and the shadow, the strengths and the struggles, the victories and the stumbles. When we demand perfection from ourselves, we are essentially saying that our humanity is not acceptable, that we must transcend our nature to deserve love. This is an impossible and exhausting task, and it keeps us forever striving, forever falling short, forever believing we are not quite there yet. The truth that will set you free is this: you are already whole. Not when you lose the weight or get the promotion or heal the trauma or finally get your life together. Right now. The wholeness is not something you achieve. It is what you are beneath all the conditions and judgments you have layered on top. Every quality you have developed, every challenge you have faced, every choice you have made has been part of your unique journey. The things you consider flaws or failures have taught you compassion, humility, resilience, and depth. They are not obstacles to your worthiness. They are part of the rich tapestry of your life. When you can hold all of it with acceptance, When you can look at yourself with the same compassion you would offer to anyone you truly love, you discover a peace that does not depend on circumstances. You discover that you are enough simply because you exist. Let yourself breathe with that for a moment. You are enough, not because of what you do or achieve or become, because you are. Because life itself deemed you worthy of existence. Because the same force that creates galaxies and guides rivers to the sea also created you, and nothing in nature is a mistake. You are as deserving of love as any flower, any bird, any tree. They do not earn their place in the ecosystem. They simply grow and bloom and exist, and their existence is valuable in itself. You too are part of this living system, and your existence has value that does not require justification. The way we speak to ourselves matters profoundly. Most of us would never speak to another person the way we speak to ourselves in the privacy of our own minds. We would never look at a friend who made a mistake and say the cruel things we say to ourselves. We would never tell a child they are stupid or worthless or unlovable, yet we do this to ourselves routinely and think nothing of it. The intit Rental voice has been running for so long, delivering its harsh commentary, that we have come to believe it is simply telling the truth. But it is not. It is repeating old programming, old wounds, old fears, and we have the power to change it. Begin to notice the tone and content of your inner dialogue. When you make a small mistake, what does the voice say? When you look in the mirror, what commentary arises? When you consider trying something new, what warnings or criticisms emerge? Simply notice without judgment. You are not bad for having these thoughts. You learned them, and they once served a purpose of trying to keep you safe or acceptable. But now they are likely keeping you small and afraid and disconnected from your own heart. Once you notice the patterns, you can begin to consciously choose different words. When the critical voice says, "You're so stupid," you can gently interrupt and say, "I made a mistake, and that's part of learning." When it says, "You're not good enough," you can respond with, "I am doing my best, and that is enough." When it says, "No one could love you," you can offer, "I am learning to love myself," and that changes everything. This is not about positive thinking or pretending everything is fine when it is not. It is about treating yourself with basic kindness, the same kindness you would automatically offer to someone you care about. Imagine a small child comes to you, upset about something they did wrong. You would not berate them. You would likely kneel down, look them in the eyes with warmth, and help them understand what happened and how they might do things differently next time. You would reassure them that mistakes are part of learning and that your love for them is not diminished. This is how we can learn to speak to ourselves, as the loving adult speaking to the child within who is still learning, still growing, still worthy of gentleness and patience. You might try this as a practice. When you notice self-criticism arising, place a hand on your heart and take a breath. Then speak to yourself in the second person, using your own name, as if you were speaking to someone you dearly love. "Sarah, you are being so hard on yourself right now. You are doing the best you can. I love you." It may feel awkward at first. You may feel resistance or even shame at speaking to yourself this way. That resistance itself is information. It shows you how unaccustomed you are to treating yourself with tenderness. Keep practicing anyway. The neural pathways that support self-compassion grow stronger with use, just like muscles grow stronger with exercise. Over time, kindness can become your default setting rather than criticism. When you begin to truly love yourself, everything in your life shifts. This is not metaphorical, it is practical and observable. The way you love yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. When you know your worth, you no longer accept relationships that diminish you. When you honor your needs, you stop overgiving to the point of depletion. When you speak to yourself with respect, you notice more quickly when others are disrespectful, and you have the strength to address it or walk away. Self-love is not selfish. It is the foundation upon which all healthy relationships are built. You cannot give from an empty well. You cannot love others fully when you are starving for the love you refuse to give yourself. People often fear that if they love themselves, they will become arrogant or self-absorbed. But true self-love is the opposite of arrogance. Arrogance comes from insecurity, masked by bravado, from needing to prove superiority to cover up feelings of inadequacy. Self-love is quiet and steady. It does not need to prove anything. It knows its worth and therefore has no need to diminish others or inflate itself. When you love yourself, you become more capable of genuine love for others because you are no longer looking to them to fill the void within. You can appreciate them for who they are rather than for what they can do for you. You can be generous without resentment because you are not abandoning yourself in the process. Your work in the world becomes more authentic and impactful when it flows from self-love rather than from the need to prove your worth. When you create or contribute from a place of already knowing you are valuable, your work carries a different energy. It is not desperate or grasping. It is an offering, a natural expression of who you are. And paradoxically, when you stop making your work about proving yourself, it often becomes more successful because it is more genuine and connects more deeply with others. People can feel the difference between something created from fear and something created from love. Even your capacity to receive abundance increases when you love yourself. So often we block our own good because deep down we do not believe we deserve it. We sabotage opportunities. We downplay our accomplishments. We refuse compliments. We charge less than our services are worth. We settle for less than we desire because some part of us believes that is all we deserve. When you genuinely love yourself, you naturally open to receiving. You understand that you are worthy of good things not because you earned them, but because life is abundant and you are part of life. You stop arguing with compliments and simply say thank you. You allow yourself to be supported. You receive joy without waiting for the other shoe to drop. This opening creates a flow where more good can come to you, not through manipulation or force, but through natural alignment. There is often guilt that arises when we begin to prioritize ourselves. This is especially true for those who have been caretakers, who have built their identity around being needed, who have learned that their value comes from what they do for others. When you start to set boundaries, when you say no to requests that deplete you, when you take time for your own needs, it can feel selfish. Others may even tell you that you are being selfish, especially if they have benefited from your lack of boundaries. This is a crucial moment. You must understand that you are not responsible for managing other people's feelings or for sacrificing yourself to keep them comfortable. Choosing yourself is not the same as being selfish. Selfish is taking without regard for others. Self-love is honoring your own humanity with the same care you have been extending to everyone else. When you are in an airplane, they tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. This is not because you matter more. It is because you cannot help anyone if you have passed out from lack of oxygen. The same principle applies to life. You must fill your own cup first. You must care for your own needs. You must love yourself enough to know that you matter too, not just everyone else. And here is what happens. When you do this, you actually have more to give. You give from overflow rather than from depletion. You give because you want to, not because you are trying to earn love or avoid guilt. You give in ways that are sustainable rather than martyring yourself and eventually collapsing in resentment. If someone is upset that you are no longer overextending yourself for them, that is information about the relationship. Healthy people want you to care for yourself. They do not require your depletion to feel good about the relationship. If setting a boundary causes someone to withdraw their love or approval, that love was always conditional. It was based on what you could do for them, not on who you are. And as painful as that realization may be, it is also liberating. It shows you where adjustments need to be made. It creates space for relationships that are based on mutual respect and care, rather than on you shrinking yourself to fit someone else's needs. Loving yourself is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice, a series of small choices that accumulate over time. It is choosing the thought that is kinder when you have the option. It is pausing to ask yourself what you truly need before automatically saying yes to someone else's request. It is taking 5 minutes to sit quietly with a cup of tea instead of rushing through every moment. It is speaking up when something does not feel right instead of swallowing your truth to keep the peace. It is moving your body in ways that feel good rather than punishing yourself with exercise you hate. It is eating food that nourishes you because you care about your well-being, not because you are trying to meet some external standard of how you should look. The practice can be as simple as a morning ritual where you look in your own eyes in the mirror and say, "I love you," or "I am here for you," or "You matter." It may feel absurd at first. You may not believe the words. Say them anyway. You are retraining your heart to accept love, starting with your own. You might keep a small journal where you write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself each day, not accomplishments necessarily, but qualities or efforts or simply moments where you showed up. You might set a gentle reminder on your phone that says, "How are you feeling right now?" to help you stay connected to yourself throughout the day instead of only attending to external demands. You might practice the pause, that moment between stimulus and response where you can choose. When someone asks something of you, instead of the automatic yes, you pause and check in with yourself. Is this something you truly want to do? Do you have the energy and time? Will saying yes require you to abandon yourself? The pause gives you space to choose consciously rather than from old programming. You might also practice noticing beauty, the way light falls through leaves, the sound of rain, the taste of something delicious, the warmth of water on your skin in the shower. These moments of presence and appreciation train your nervous system to experience goodness, to recognize that life offers pleasure and beauty, that you are allowed to receive it. Another powerful practice is to notice when you are comparing yourself to others and gently redirect your attention. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to kill self-love. There will always be someone who seems more successful, more attractive, more together, more anything. But you are not seeing their whole story. You are seeing a curated version of their life while comparing it to your unedited reality. And even if they truly are excelling in some area, that does not diminish you. There is no quota on worthiness. Someone else's light does not diminish yours. You can appreciate another person's gifts without making them a measuring stick that you use to beat yourself. When you notice comparison happening, you might simply say to yourself, "This is their journey and I honor it. This is my journey and I honor it too." Then bring your attention back to your own path, your own unfolding, your own unique expression of life. The parts of ourselves that we have rejected, the wounds we have tried to hide, the aspects of our personality or history that we have deemed unacceptable, these are not obstacles to loving ourselves. They are the very places where self-love becomes transformational. It is easy to love the parts of ourselves that are already acceptable, that match what the world values. The real work is in learning to meet the rejected parts with compassion, to understand that they too are part of our wholeness, that they have likely been trying to protect us or get our needs met in the only ways they knew how. Perhaps there is a part of you that feels needy and you have tried to suppress it by becoming fiercely independent, never asking for help, never showing vulnerability. What if that needy part is simply the part that knows we are not meant to do life alone, that longs for connection and support? What if, instead of rejecting it, you could thank it for reminding you of your humanity and your need for relationship? Perhaps there is a part of you that gets angry and you have judged yourself harshly for not being more patient or spiritual or evolved. What if that anger is protecting your boundaries, letting you know when something is not right, giving you energy to stand up for yourself? What if you could honor its message while also learning to express it in healthy ways? Every quality you have developed, even the ones you wish were different, has served a purpose in your survival and growth. The perfectionism that exhausts you once helped you succeed in an environment where mistakes were not tolerated. The people-pleasing that leaves you depleted once kept you safe when speaking your truth was dangerous. The walls around your heart that keep intimacy at bay once protected you from overwhelming pain. These strategies are not the enemy. They are survival mechanisms that helped you navigate difficult circumstances. The question now is not, "Why am I like this?" with judgment, but "What was this trying to do for me?" with curiosity. And then, is this still serving me, or is there a new way that might work better now? As you bring loving awareness to these parts of yourself, something miraculous happens. They begin to integrate. The energy that was locked up in internal conflict becomes available for creativity and joy. The shame dissolves because you understand that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. The self-hatred transforms into compassion, and often the very wounds that you thought disqualified you from love become your greatest gifts. The person who has struggled with anxiety understands the suffering of others who feel afraid and can offer deep empathy. The person who has known addiction understands the grip of compulsion and can help others find freedom. The person who has experienced rejection knows the profound need to belong and can create spaces of genuine acceptance. Your wounds, when healed with love, become medicine for the world. This is the gift that keeps giving. Loving yourself is not a finite resource that runs out. It is a wellspring that deepens the more you draw from it. The more you practice treating yourself with kindness, the more natural it becomes. The more you honor your needs, the clearer you become about what those needs actually are. The more you accept yourself as you are, the more you naturally grow and evolve, because you are not fighting against yourself. And this love overflows into every area of your life. You become a person who can be fully present with others because you are no longer abandoning yourself. You become someone who can handle challenges with more grace because you have your own back. You become a living example that it is possible to treat yourself well, and that example gives others permission to do the same. The love you give yourself changes the energy you bring into every room, every relationship, every situation. It is not loud or boastful. It is a quiet strength, a groundedness, a sense of being at home, me in your own skin. People feel it, even if they cannot name it, and it often inspires them to begin their own journey of self-love, because they sense that something different is possible. You do not have to preach or convince or explain. You simply live it, and your life becomes the message. There will still be hard days. Self-love does not make you immune to pain or struggle or the challenges of being human, but it changes how you meet those challenges. Instead of adding self-criticism on top of whatever you are already dealing with, you meet yourself with compassion. Instead of believing that struggle means you are failing, you understand that difficulty is part of the journey for everyone. Instead of feeling alone in your pain, you hold yourself with the same tenderness you would offer to anyone you love who is suffering. And this makes all the difference. The pain may still be there, but you are not fighting it and yourself at the same time. You are allowing it, moving through it, trusting that you will find your way because you are committed to staying present with yourself no matter what arises. As you continue on this path, you may notice that the voice in your head becomes gentler without effort. You may find that you automatically reach for choices that honor your well-being. You may discover that you can receive compliments without deflecting, that you can celebrate your successes without diminishing them, that you can acknowledge your struggles without shame. These shifts are not forced. They emerge naturally as self-love becomes integrated into your being. You are not trying to become someone different. You are simply remembering who you have always been beneath the layers of judgment and conditioning. A being worthy of love, a unique expression of life, a person who deserves kindness, most of all from yourself. The journey of learning to love yourself is perhaps the most important work you will ever do. It is the foundation for everything else, for healthy relationships, for meaningful work, for peace of mind, for the ability to give and receive with an open heart. It is not selfish or indulgent or a luxury for when you have fixed everything else. It is the essential starting point, and it begins right now, in this moment, with the simple recognition that you are worthy of your own love, not when you improve or achieve or heal or change. Now, as you are, with all your imperfections and struggles and uncertainties, you are worthy now. Take a breath and let that truth settle into your body. Feel it in your chest, in your belly, in the soft tissues of your heart. You are worthy of love, your own love, and that love is the greatest gift you will ever receive because it comes from the one person who will be with you every moment of your life, yourself. Choose to be a loving presence for yourself. Choose to speak kindly. Choose to honor your needs. Choose to forgive your mistakes. Choose to celebrate your existence, not perfectly, but persistently, not all at once, but one small moment at a time. This is your birthright, to love yourself fully and freely, Everything in your life will blossom from this foundation. The love you have been seeking from others, from achievements, from external validation is already within you, waiting to be recognized and embraced. You are the one you have been waiting for. You are the love you have been searching for. And as you open to this truth, as you allow yourself to be held by your own loving presence, you discover that you have everything you need. The journey is not about becoming worthy. It is about remembering that you always were. Welcome home to yourself. Welcome home to love.